friends, I'm Dr. Krishna Patil. I'm a consultant nephrologist at Sunshine Hospitals in Hyderabad. In the previous video, we discussed in extensive details about the current evolving evidence of fasting as a powerful tool to manage obesity and type 2 diabetes. In the current video, I'm going to discuss briefly some popular plans of fasting and how to overcome hunger during fast. So the most popular plan is a 2 meals a day or 16:8 intermittent fasting or time restricted window kind of fasting, in which you take your lunch at 11 a.m. and dinner at 7 p.m. You have a 16 hours of fast from 7 p.m. to next day 11 a.m. So that prolonged fasting helps the insulin levels to dip. Insulin locks your stored energy. Your body can work with two fuels. One is the food energy and one is the stored energy. Unless the insulin levels dip for a long time, you cannot utilize your stored energy. So that's the science behind going a prolonged fasting period. And typically you can begin to adjust your body to use that stored energy. You can give a 16-hour of fasting period. So this is a very popular plan to begin with for beginners to adjust their body to adapt to use the stored energy. As your body starts to adapt to using the stored energy for working, you can eventually progress to do 1 meal a day. Like you have your breakfast and then next day breakfast, or have dinner and then next day dinner. And then eventually you can progress to a 36 hours or a 48 hours of prolonged fasting. So the biggest concern that makes us feel that, how to manage the hunger during this fasting period, you need to understand that hunger doesn't come and stay. It comes, it goes, because when the body switches the fuel to the stored energy is released, the hunger gets suppressed. So we all have experienced this, that when you skip a meal, you feel hungry for some time, but the hunger eventually dies down. The ghrelin, the hunger hormone, eventually comes down. It doesn't go on rising and rising and rising. So the first day of fasting, you may feel a little more hungry, but as you progress to doing a little prolonged fasting, you will realize that the ghrelin hormone levels eventually become lower and lower, and your hunger waves become lesser and lesser with prolonged fasting. And how do you tide over that wave of hunger? In the beginning stages, what you need to do is you choose a busy day for fasting. It's easier to fast when you are engaged in certain activity. If you are at home and others are eating, you may feel more hungry and break your fast. So take time out, go out for a walk when others are having their meals and come back. So third thing that you can do is you can exercise. So some people may feel that exercising on a fasting day may make you more hungry, but no. Exercise will release the counter-regulatory hormones like epinephrine, norepinephrine and growth hormone, which will actually help in releasing the stored energy to be utilized, and it may boost the effects of your fasting more. And exercise can be, just don't do a very heavy exercise, but moderate exercise can help you tide over the hunger wave. Third thing is you can drink some beverages. The most simplest thing is to drink a couple of glasses of water. Water can suppress your hunger for time being very effectively. If you are feeling more weak or you're feeling lethargic, you can also try some green tea which has catechinins, which can boost your basal metabolic rate, which can suppress hunger effectively. And also you can try some vegetable soups. And you can add some coconut oil, couple of teaspoons of coconut oil also to vegetable soup, which will not spike insulin. Very important, do not eat anything that is going to spike insulin. Carbohydrates and proteins are going to spike insulin, and insulin will lock your stored energy, and you will feel more hungry, and you will fail in your attempts of fasting if you drink anything that has sugar in it or is high in carbohydrate. So avoid high carbohydrate or sugary or honey or jaggery on the day of fasting, so that you can eventually take the benefit of dipping the insulin levels and switch your fuel to the stored energy rather than the food energy. For diabetics, it's very essential to know that it can be dangerous in the beginning, because you may be on some medicines which are going to cause increase in the insulin levels, and that way your stored energy cannot be utilized properly and you may have hypoglycemic events. So it can be dangerous. So for diabetics, do not attempt it without supervision or guidance of your medical practitioner. In the beginning days, you can begin with a 2 meals a day plan rather than prolonged fasting, and as you gain confidence, you can progress ahead. On a fasting day, avoid your diabetes medicines. You may also have to skip your previous night diabetes medicine to have a better fasting day. So for diabetics, you need to be a little cautious and consult your medical practitioner before you attempt fasting. Fasting is not a tool for pregnant ladies. It's not for lactating women. It's not for growing age children if they're not obese, and it's not for those who are already malnourished with a BMI of 18 or below. So fasting is a very powerful tool for managing obesity and type 2 diabetes, but under supervision and guidance. So happy fasting. Tide over your hunger with these tips. Thank you.